Hello, everyone. I am Kurt Wires, Superintendent of Schools for the Ashwaubenon School District. And today, we are producing a video to help you understand the need for our upcoming referendum on November 5th, 2024. If you take a little bit of time back and reflect, back in April of 2020, we passed a mental health referendum because of the gracious contributions that all of you made in order for us to meet the needs of our students in their mental health. At that time, we promised you that we would give you data and provide evidence for you as to the need and what things we accomplished over that time. This video, we hope to help share some of those great things that our staff have done in order to support our students.
Since passing the referendum in 2020, we have been able to add several pupil services positions to the district. We added positions for social work, counselors, behavioral specialists, graduation coaches, and at-risk instructors. We were able to create an elementary pupil services team and a secondary pupil services team that work together based on grade levels to make sure that we're giving consistent instruction and supports to students. In 2020, the community voted to support the mental health referendum, which increased mental health supports for our students. These supports are able to provide a safe learning environment for all students. We've been able to implement different approaches and training to help decrease disruptions in the classroom. We found ways to build peer connections and supports. The added staff increased social emotional supports for students. We've seen that anxiety has decreased, and we've been better able to meet the needs of our students who may be considering suicide. We've built culturally responsive practices. We've closed achievement gaps, and we've been able to increase instructional time. 2020 operational referendum expanded supports by adding 3 school counselors, 2 social workers, 2 behavioral specialists, 2 graduation specialists. It added time to make a full-time at-risk position at the high school, and it provided funds for curriculum materials and training. Our data from the 23-24 school year shows that 530 students met with a counselor or social worker to receive mental health support. 104 students were referred out for mental health services. 75 middle high school students completed the Columbia Risk Assessment, which identifies suicide tendencies, and we were able to refer those students out for help. 23 students completed the Columbia Suicide Risk Assessment. 47 students joined the Hope Squad, which is a suicide prevention group. 27 students work with our graduation coaches, and 60 students work with our at-risk instructors. The YRBS is given to our students at the high school every 2 years. Our data goes back as far as 2019, and we have seen since 2019 to 2023, issues with anxiety are about the same. They were 47% in 2019, 54% in 2021, and in 2023, they're at 48%. Self-reported depression in 2019 was at 27%. It has gone down to 25%. Intentional self-harm is about the same as it was in 2019. Students who considered suicide was at 14% in 2019. It's gone down to 13% in 2023. And our students who have experienced food insecurities were reported at 25% of our students in 2019 and only 20% of our students in 2023. What happens if the referendum does not pass in November 2024? At Cormier, our half-time behavioral specialist and full-time counselor will be eliminated. At Pioneer, we will need to reduce our full-time behavior specialist. At Valley View, the half-time behavior specialist and half-time social worker and a full-time counselor will be eliminated. At Parkview, our full-time graduation specialist, a full-time counselor, and a part-time social worker will be eliminated. And at the high school, we will lose 2 full-time graduation specialists and at-risk teachers.
What will the referendum cost the average taxpayer? The proposed referendum is for $967,000 annually for 3 years. We are renewing an existing referendum that was $730,000, so the net increase will be $230,000 a year. For the average homeowner of a home valued at $200,000, that would translate to $18 each year.
Having a social emotional coordinator in our building has been so beneficial. We only wish we could have one full time. Our staff person is able to meet with kids one-on-one and meet their needs in a way that maybe a classroom teacher might not be able to do with immediacy. She's great at building connections, not only with the students, but their families. And it's wonderful that she can help get their bodies regulated and ready to learn when they come back into the classroom.
It's been an honor to work and serve at Cormier School with the staff and the families there. I know everyone has been so supportive of helping us build a comprehensive school counseling model to use within the building, from being able to be in the classrooms and teach skills to pulling small groups and working individually with the 4K and kindergarten students there, just so that they can have some skills to help them get their brain and their body and their heart ready to be learning. And I just want to reiterate that it's just been amazing to have a team there. So we have a pupil services team that can wrap around our students there to make sure that they're successful in school.
Our SEL, or Social Emotional Learning coaching role, has been at Pioneer for 4 years now. And to try to describe the role and quantify it is impossible, because the impact has been immeasurable on our students at Pioneer. The coach has worked with staff and students to implement some wonderful social emotional learning. We have growth with our students in spaces on self-regulation and really working to talk through problems using restorative practices. We've also implemented morning meetings throughout our entire building with the help of our coach. And these meetings help us connect with our students in the morning and really make sure that we are ready to help our students learn. And if we're not quite there, we have the support that we need to make sure that every kid at Pioneer can be successful on a daily basis.
Okay. Character Strong has been a real asset to our schools. It's been so nice to have a series or a curriculum that we can focus on just one concept. Every month we change our focus, and it's nice to have that same common language through our whole school. We can talk about it on announcements and morning meetings. We can also focus our conversations with students if we need to correct behavior or talk about friendship or talk about other life skills. It's so nice to have that common language across the whole building. Something I really appreciate about having a social emotional learning coordinator and SEL person is that students have needs that we aren't necessarily equipped to take care of in the classroom. We just don't have time. We're so busy teaching our curriculum, and we don't have the expertise. So it's so nice when somebody does. It's so nice also that they can come in and coach us. They can observe in our classroom, give us feedback. They also analyze the data that we collect on EduClimber, and they can notice trends and make suggestions on a grade-wide level so that we can meet the needs of so many more.
Good morning, friends. Well, that's one of the ways we start our morning every day in our community circle or our morning meeting. It has made a huge difference in helping my students just grow closer together, build connections. We're able to talk about social emotional learning, have fun with some games, and just really come together and build that strong community, which then carries over into their classwork of being able to tackle those things that are tough or that are challenging, and they are able to support each other and work through those hard things until they just shine.
Having our social emotional coaches has been really helpful because they are able to come into our classrooms and teach brain science and teach kids how that works. It helps kids to regulate their emotions. it helps kids when like academic rigor becomes too much. It just helps them get through those challenges. Morning meetings are really the heartbeat of our classrooms. They're where we start our day each morning. They're where students share about their lives and things that are happening outside of school, but it's also a really great place to have restorative conversations when things aren't going right, and to also like bridge between the academics and the social emotional learning.
Every year the needs of our kids are greater and greater with what they're coming in before they even step foot into the building.
Prior to the 2020 mental health referendum passing, we had, as far as our Pupil Services Department at Parkview Middle School, we had a part-time social worker, half-time, and me as a full-time counselor. The impact has been extraordinary, in my opinion, and I believe that our teachers and students would echo that as well in terms of being able to access us as a student services team. One of the things that I have always said is that we are there to support students with anything that interferes with a successful school experience. So again, having them access that support is so important. And when we are 1.5, with over 700 students, there could be days where students wouldn't receive that support in a timely manner. And the end goal is to get them readmitted to their classrooms so that they can access their learning. And again, it just has opened up that opportunity for students to see a mental health professional at the school setting regularly because of the addition of the staff.
Hi, I've been a teacher at Ashwaubenon School District for 23 years. When I first started, we had 2 school counselors. Our students were able to get the resources they needed in a timely manner, and I didn't even think twice about it until we were down to 1. That was a really hard time for our students and teachers. When students were having difficulties, it was on us teachers to help them because the school counselors could only have so much time in the day. They couldn't reach the needs of all of our students. Teachers were taking time to try to help the students obviously regulate, to get them into a good state of mind so that they could learn to the best of their ability, put a lot of strain on the students and teachers. Now, we are fortunate to have 2. What a difference it makes where students are able to get the help they need in a timely manner. They're able to go in about 5-10 minutes. Our amazing school counselors get them regulated and they come back to class ready to learn. Students and teachers are learning and teaching amazingly now with all the extra time because we have the resources. Students right now have more stress on them than ever before. I've seen it with social media. It causes so much stress and anxiety. They need more and more help from school counselors to help them regulate and handle these difficult.
Hope Squad has been such a positive thing for the high school, not only for our district, but it started in 2020, started virtually with our kids meeting on a screen, and it has grown so much over the last 4 years. These students are nominated by their peers, and they have walked the halls and advocated for what they experience and their peers, and it just spreads out to the community.
And Hope Squad has helped our high school students just recognize that they're not alone in feeling the thoughts and the feelings that they have, that they're not alone, and there's other kids, peers that they're walking the halls with that are experiencing the same things.
Some of the things that we do as a Hope Squad with our advisors is creating goals, creating vision, creating ideas that we can take into different areas of the school, into the cafeteria we can get students involved, into planning big events, into going to basketball games and creating fundraisers. So it's been a huge thing for us as a whole, just getting engagement and talking about wellness and who people are inside and out.
And one of our big events is at the end of the year we have what's called the Hope Walk, and last year was our 2nd annual, and it was bigger than the first year, and we are working on it already in anticipation of making it even bigger this year. Just a cool event for the community members, school members, staff members to come out to the school